Welcome everyone to our closing stream of Cohere Choral Hackathon. Today we collected 5 best of the best teams that actually make it from 38 submissions that were made over this hackathon. So we picked 5 the best together with judges that worked really hard covering all these projects and checking all of them. And I saw that most of your project got a huge amount of feedback from judges as well that will help you improve. And we now have people that will present their solution. It's final top 5 teams. And by the results of this stream, we will define the 3 winners that will get a final prize and their benefits as the winners. And I'm happy to also have our judges today that will be lively judge people. I will give a word to Sandra in a minute to announce Cohere, but let me just go through the judges we have here today. So we have Philip, who is representing VV8. Happy to have you on our streams that often, actually. Do you want to say a bit about maybe you being on this at this hackathon and also about VV8 as a part of this hackathon?
For sure. So as VV8, we love to collaborate with Cohere and integrate pretty well into Cohere ecosystem. And in the end, I really like to do these hackathons and see these awesome projects coming out of these hackathons, people building real projects with Cohere, with Langchain, and also with VV8. And so I'm happy to be judge, this time from a hotel room because I'm attending the re:Invent from Las Vegas. So let's see. I hope the Wi-Fi is not going down.
That works perfect for us. Thank you so much, Philip. Okay, and then we have Harrison from Langchain. Harrison, do you have a bit of welcome words for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for putting this on, and thanks Cohere and Weaviate and everyone else for being here as well. Really excited to do this judging. Yeah, LangChain's a framework for building LLM applications, so really excited to see and hear from builders about what got built. And yeah, Cohere and Weaviate are 2 of our favorite partners, and we have lots of cool things as well. Maybe some of the things that get built can turn into like a LangChain Weaviate Cohere template or something like that. So really excited for this.
Thank you so much. We have Patrick, Sandra, and Anis from Cohere. Sandra, maybe you will go with some intro words.
Absolutely. Super stoked to be here. Thanks so much for having us. And we were really excited to look at the winning demos. All of the demos that we have seen so far looked amazing. Thank you so much for hacking your way through this. We are joined together today by Patrick Lewis, the inventor of RAG. They used to call him that. I think they're still calling him that. And Anis, our Cohere ambassador, and they will be looking at the winning demos today and helping us choose who built the most awesome ones. But no matter if you're winning or not, you're awesome. Thank you so much for building with us. And yeah, keep building and sharing stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Patrick, do you have a few words for us?
Yeah, hopefully everyone can hear me. Sorry, it's my first time using Discord. I've managed to get in. Excited to be here. Looking forward to looking at the submissions. I had a quick look before, and I was like amazed by the creativity and the kind of variation of things that could be built with what we've kind of been working on here at Cohere. I slightly cringe at the title "Inventor of RAG," but yeah, I've been involved in studying these kind of systems and popularizing them for a little while. So yeah, good to meet you all. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Patrick. Happy to have you in the stream today. Anis, maybe a few last words from your side and a bit of inspiration that you got from the submissions over the hackathon. I don't think we can hear you. There might be a mic connected.
I think I'm audible now. Yeah, it's the same as just like Patrick and Sandra said. It was a great experience, like judging the projects, the new projects, using Cohere, and like it was a great experience overall. And I think it's like my first hackathon event as a judge, and yeah, it was a great experience.
Thank you so much. Together with judges, we have today our Lab mentors that were supporting teams over the hackathon. We have Inam, Kudos, and Paolo present on the stream. They will be partly involved in the judging, supporting us questions as well. I'm happy to announce that we have top 5 teams right now here that are ready to present. And let me just go through quickly through them. We have Coral Explorers with the project ORB Chat. Then we have Data Dreamers with Tarador AI solution. Then we have Byte and the same name to the project. And then we have Biology AI with Cantor AI solution, and Through Think with Rack Fusion with Cohere and VV8. All of these projects will be presenting today. Quickly going through the rules, each team will have 5 minutes to present their. So they are doing live presentation and showing how the apps are working. And in the end of their talks, they have 4 minutes for Q&A session with judges. And judges, you have time for around 3-4 questions, depends on the answer that you expect to have. And let's just have fun today over the stream. And I'm happy to announce the team number 1 that go. It's Coral Explorers with ORB Chat. Guys, if you're ready to present, just share your screen and the stage will be yours. Matthew?
Thank you, Alicia. I will share my screen and get started. Can you hear me and can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, hello everyone. I'm excited to introduce Orb Chat, which is our 24/7 AI chat support solution powered by Cohere and Weaviate. So for us, we identified that traditional chatbots fall short. They lack agent handover, they're prohibitively expensive for small and medium enterprises, and they also fall prey to brand and knowledge gaps, with sometimes limited options as to what you can provide as context. So we built Orb Chat to stand out with customizable chatbots, support agent transfer built in, and an easy embedding facility for your website. So for us, we wanted to make sure that we could simplify the whole process. Orb Chat simplifies chatbot deployment, enables human interaction with a single checkbox, and provides endless context by giving the ability to add multiple links to websites and documents all in one place. So we've not monetized it yet. However, we do see some paths to potential revenue sources. We could likely sell based on token limits rather than seats, and seats is a rather common and costly practice with these sorts of solutions. We could also provide an affiliate program for those that champion our product as well. We're positioned in a market subset of around $1 billion that's projected to grow around 3x by 2028. So we're in a place where we're in a growing market that's going to become more and more important. So we do see the opportunity there with Orb Chat. In terms of the competition, we've left names out here, but generally speaking, the more agent-leaning solutions, I'll say one, Help Scout, for example, quite expensive, not much AI capability built in. And on the other end, you've got cheaper AI-based solutions, but they're normally all AI. So Orb Chat tries to fill that gap with a hybrid solution that you can use for your projects. In terms of the technologies we used, so Laravel and Vue are our base for our application. We're hosted on serverless on AWS. Weaviate is our vector store technology, and Cohere is our LLM. We also use LangChain to split up our documents, crawl. There's a ton of amazing utilities built into that we also made use of. So a final note before I get into our demos, our main goal was to build a truly ready enterprise solution, which is a lot to say for a hackathon. We had quite a few days, so we set ourselves a challenge. We're happy with what we've got. Over the next few months, we do plan to grow this, and whether it's through Slingshot or some other route, we're committed to growing on this, and we look forward to hearing your feedback and questions. So, on to the demos. So you can visit this now, orbchat.io. I'm going to go into the application and show you how we build a chatbot out for the first time. So I'll go to new chatbot, and on the left side, you've got a preview of what you're building. On the right side are all our fields, so I can give it a name like Orb Chat Support. Give it some instructions, which is your preamble for cohere.chat, and some intro messages. So, hey, what do you need help with? And each one on a new line will appear randomly depending on the conversation. You can also customize colors and see the colors customized as you change them, set where it can be deployed. And also, once again, you can just turn on the human agent handover switch. So if I've turned that off, you can't hand it over. If it's turned on, they can actually request to speak to an agent through Orb Chat. Now, I don't actually need to create a chatbot because I've got 3 examples to show you based on some of the sponsors and organizers. So first one we've got is LabLab. So we've got a support bot for you, we've got one for Cohere, and one for Weaviate. And I've very sneakily gone into the console and embedded those on your websites. Don't worry, I've not changed anything on the actual code. But what you can see is in the sidebar, I've copied our embed code across and used it. So for Cohere, I'm going to just, ask a question. Can you explain re-ranking in an easy to understand way? There we go. Well, this is obviously a live demo, so it may hallucinate, but let's hope it doesn't. While that's going, oh, there we go. Sure thing. Re-ranking is a powerful method that can be used to significantly improve the performance of any search system. Correct. And then once the answer's complete, we use Cohere's citations, and we provide those here. And if it's got a link to them, we also link to the page that came from. Similarly with Weaviate, if I go over here, I can ask for what type of similarity methods can I use? Now, this is a very obscure query, but hopefully it works. And then I'm going to go over to lab because I'm calling on time, and I'm going to ask about, can you tell me about the Cohere Coral Hackathon? There we go. See how well that does. There you go. Dot product, square, L2 distance. These are things I believe the Weaviate does support as their vector similarity algorithms. And then we're talking about the Cohere Hackathon as well. And I think I'm close to running out of time. Just one more thing. If I speak to a human, this then sends it to a support agent. I can go onto here and I can actually talk to the end user now and say, hey, what do you need help with? And then back onto lab, we've got a response. And that's all, chat, in a nutshell.
Thank you so much for the presentation. We can move to the Q&A session, so judges, feel free to just unmute and ask if you have something to.
No, I would have several questions. So one of the questions, are you using the re-ranker of Cohere?
No, we're not actually. So we did actually benchmark re-rank, and what we found was there's a sort of lag time between calling out to Weaviate and getting the documents and sending it to co.chat. And we found that the re-rank it provided a bit more clarity on the questions, made sort of the results were definitely better, but not better enough that it justified that lag time, if that makes sense. So this is just using pure, takes your question, does a hybrid search on Weaviate.
Ah, okay. No, it's classic because re-ranking costs you some more resources, so it's a trade-off between speed and accuracy. The next question is how you're ingesting the data from this website. So are you using LangChain to ingest the chunks or generating the chunks and then store them in Weaviate?
Correct. Yes, we use LangChain. So we use sort of a hybrid solution with LangChain. So I'm just going to quickly show you just to sort of show you how that works. In the context sources area, you can go and you can provide context. So make a new context source, you can pick either a document, a website, which will crawl, or a web page. If you use a website, you use LangChain's web crawler through Apify. The web page is just obviously an HTTP request, and the document will actually use either just a document splitter, or we'll use the PDF reader and splitter as well. So it uses LangChain for that, but to actually store on Weaviate, we use Weaviate's SDK itself. We don't use LangChain for that. The reason for that, we wanted to use the Cohere vectorizer, and for some reason we couldn't get that to work directly in LangChain. So yeah, LangChain and Weaviate sort of all in a Python microservice that we have off to the side.
Nice. And then you're using the chunks you're finding over hybrid search for context to generate the answers. So are there some chunking tricks you're using in LangChain, or some stuff like a chunk window or an overlap, or to improve the retrieval?
Yeah, we use a token overlap, so I think we probably use the default, but we make sure that we use LangChain splitter and their chunk overlap. I think it's something like 200 tokens to make sure that the mixture of context is correct, and then we pass that straight to co.chat through their documents parameter.
And I mean, Hackathon is always limited in time. What would you have on the roadmap for the future to improve?
Quite a few things. We've got straight out of the gate, we need rate limiting on the thing, because currently you can really spam and use the chatbot as much as you want. We also have the idea to revise answers. So a type of document in Weaviate that's an answer revision. So when someone's asked a question, got an answer back, you can actually go and look at these conversations from the chatbot through here. And what I want to be able to do is allow users to actually revise the answer. And that would mean question and answer stored.
Yes, exactly. And then you can also use semantic caching, because this is improving the speed.
So you say semantic caching. I've not heard of that. And
yes.
I will take notes.
Now you store the answers or the generated answers to some degree, or the stuff the user asks, and if there's, I mean, they can use different kind of language or wording, but in the end, if the question, there's a threshold, if on a semantic level is the same, so you do not need to generate or use a large language model to generate the same answer to some semantic related questions.
Yeah,
and we use this
that's the idea,
yeah. So we're using this in Verber. There's an open source GitHub repository. It's called Verber. You just need to Google Verber and Weaviate, and then you find our implementation of semantic caching using Weaviate in combination.
I'm happy to have that validated. We thought fine-tuning is maybe a last resort for this type of thing. So to hear that someone's implemented that, that's quite,
now,
quite
this is a gold standard. So fine-tuning fine-tuning a model and using rec.
Brilliant. Any other questions?
We have time for one more. So if Cohere team wants to go with the questions.
I guess I can ask a question. It's interesting to see you working with the preambles. I kind of were like, interested to hear any feedback you had from like how specific you found the model able to condition on the preambles, or whether it was rebellious in any way. It's a kind of like feature that we're kind of actively working on right now. I'm just kind of curious, how it worked out for you.
That's a great question. So so the way we treat the preamble was almost like a system prompt. If you imagine sort of how GPT works, and we found that the more specific we are, the better, and also framing it is in I. So I'm talking prompt engineering terms. It worked quite well if we said I am a chatbot for LabLab AI versus you are this, which is generally how you do it if you're using, say, OpenAI. So that's first of all. But there were instances if we provide too much info, it seems to skip over some things at times. So there are holes there, but for the most part, it was pretty performant.
Cool. There's some updates coming soon. But awesome. Very interesting. Yeah, thank you.
One more thing, the welcome message. These, for some reason, you put a message before the chat, it seems to perform even better. It's like a pre-prompt for itself. So side note, but yeah, that's that.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. And with this, we had to conclude a Q&A session for the Coral Explorers team, and we'll move on to the next team presentation. So we have Data Dreamers and Tadabor project. We happen to have Nimra with us, and Nimra, please share your screen if you're ready to present.
So yes, I'm ready to present. I will just keep my camera off for the presentation to prevent any lag. So hi, I'm Nimra. I'm a part of the Data Dreamers team, and we created the application to Tadabor. So our team is myself, Omeima, and Mohammed. Can I just get a confirmation my presentation is showing?
Yeah, it is visible.
Thank you. So the problem we are trying to solve is Muslims aspire to connect with the Quran and draw from its insights. However, it's a very difficult process for non-Arabic speakers as the source text is in Arabic. Additionally, lots of the historical context from the Quran and supporting commentary, historical records are also in Arabic. And the English translations can be challenging to comprehend as attempts of translation are often done in an Old English style. Our solution is our application Tadabbur, which in Arabic means reflective contemplation, deep pondering, and thoughtful meditation on the verses of the Quran. Our solution leverages Cohere's generative AI RAG feature to create a seamless Tadabbur process for non-Arabic speakers. And maintaining data integrity is absolutely paramount when it comes to working with the Quran. The Quran is orally transmitted for 14,000 years and through memorization. So data integrity is absolutely essential. So RAG was a really great AI solution when it comes to something like this. So really quickly, I'm just going to define the word tafsir. In Arabic, it means Quranic interpreting of and explaining. So for reference, the Quran is 600 pages. However, the Ibn Kathir tafsir is actually 10 volumes, each being 650 pages. So it really just goes to show how deep the Quran really is. Even though it's 600 pages, there's a lot more going on than just 600 pages. We took the Ibn Kathir tafsir and we mapped it into 500-word chunks, to each associated verse in the Quran. We passed this into Weaviate, and we requested for the object vector within Weaviate, and we utilized the text-to-vect from Cohere, which returned the object vector and stored the vectors into the Weaviate database. Now, when the user has some type of question, they would just type in their topic of interest, and they could include their emotion. We would take this information and perform a hybrid search in Weaviate, and this would return we would take the top 3 tafsir chunks and pass it to Cohere. We would also take the user objective and their emotion and do some prompt engineering and pass that as well to Cohere. Utilizing both the tafsir chunk and the user objective and emotion, we would perform a chain.batch using LangChain on every single document that we took the 3 top documents. So we did a chain.batch for all of those documents. And then we returned the 3 associated verses from the Quran to the front end. Side note, the front end was built using React and Flask. So once the user gets their top 3 verses, they could simply select a verse of their interest, and we would pass that to Cohere as well as the associated tafsir, and Cohere would generate 3 questions for the user to do some contemplating and pondering on. So I will just do a quick demo. So you would simply navigate to the Tadabbur tab. The user would type in their objective or their topic of interest. In this case, I wrote overcoming hardships. They could add a spiritual booster, as we coined it, which is simply just their emotions. So they could put whatever emotion they're feeling, and this would create a very personalized summarization of the tafsir related to their user objective. So here we get the top 3 associated verses, both in Arabic and in English, and we intend to add more languages in the future. And the user could simply hit explain, and it would give a nice personalized summary in relation to overcoming hardships and their user selected emotion. And they would have that for all 3 verses. And if they see one that they really like, they could simply hit the reflect on this button. And now we're going back to Cohere, and we're sending the verse and the associated tafsir. It's generating those 3 questions for the user to do some pondering on. And they could do this with their friends, or like at the masjid, they can journal about it. So that's the demo. Sorry.
Thank you so much for the presentation, and we are ready to move. Do you want to showcase again the demo of the project, or can we move to the questions already?
The demo's done. But yeah, we can go to questions.
There is a Q&A time. Dear judges, just feel free to unmute and ask if you have any questions.
So I can ask a question. Can you tell me a little bit more about the prompt engineering you mentioned for, I think it was interpreting the query in the diagram?
Yes, so we took the user, like the type that I showed in the demo, and the user could optionally put an emotion. If they choose not to, the prompt engineering, in the prompt, we would simply have a separate prompt for whether they do an emotion or whether they don't. So if they input an emotion, it would be something along the lines of, please, utilize the tafsirs that we passed from Weaviate. We sent it to Weaviate, we did a hybrid search, it would return the documents, and then we would do a separate prompt for Cohere, asking to utilize this document and explain how it is related to users' search. And if they're feeling a certain emotion, we would just simply add, take into account that the user is feeling blank, confused, or happy.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Did you consider using the emotion in the searching for the documents at all, or was that something you experimented with, or if not, how do you think that would affect results, if at all?
I'm actually, I don't remember if I did or didn't, because it was last week. But I think that Since the tafsirs that we utilize are very factual, I'm not sure how much of an impact it would have. But now I'm interested to go back in there and see how it does.
We have still time for one more question since still 1 minute left for the Q&A session. If any of the judges still have something.
I would have a question. Did you play around with the settings for the hybrid search, or did you use the default? So stuff like the AutoCAD or the rank fusion to improve the results or to evaluate?
I tried out semantic, and I didn't want to experiment with keyword search because I really wanted it to just be more open-ended for the user. So once we tried hybrid, I mean, the results were great right off the bat. So yeah, we also, we just kind of were satisfied with those results. I didn't do too much experimentation. But yeah, I do want to actually get back into Weaviate to not only do more further experimentation, but increase the database to include other languages as well, because of the multilingual support. So because a lot of Muslims actually, English is not the majority language, neither is Arabic actually. So we do really want to utilize the multilingual search in Weaviate.
If I'm back from the reInvent, so this is this week, maybe next week, I would loop you in because I want you to invite you for our new podcast series built with Weaviate.
Oh, that'd be great.
Thank you so much, guys. Can we move to the next team, or do we have something else from judges? No? Okay, cool. Then let's move to the next team. Thank you so much, Nimra, for the presentation. So we have Byte now with us, and we have Aisha and Monibach together that will be presenting. So who will go first? Just present your screen, please, and you're free to present. It's still loading on my side. If you can just confirm from streaming person that it's working on the stream. Could you please could you please try to stop the stream and then start it again?
All right.
Mhm. Now we can see it. The stage is yours.
Can you hear me? Just to confirm.
Yeah.
All right. So welcome to our Byte app. It's basically designed as a nutritionist in your pocket. So let's just begin with this
Oh,
behemoth.
I'm sorry for interrupting you. We can see the Discord stage now.
Oh, okay. Is it visible now? Is my screen?
Nope, still the Discord.
Still the stage, yeah.
Let me reconnect.
Yeah. Perfect. Now we can see the presentation.
All right. So when you first look at this, it's kind of scary, and deciphering whether an ingredient is potentially dangerous towards your or at least towards your health. And it's really difficult when you look at this and when you have a sort of disease or something you're trying to overcome. So trying to be healthy is already a huge step. And what we've seen is that this deciphering of complex nutritional labels or figuring out which medical document you should be referring to according to your buying habits. And also, we've noticed that personalized dietary guidance is something that is not readily available. And this all leads to inefficient healthy choices because usually we just go on and search whether a certain ingredient is good for you, and it's really time consuming. So imagine if you could just scan that and it could tell you whether this food is good for you, whether you shouldn't eat it, and suggest alternatives. And that's exactly what we focus on with Byte. So we quickly decode that really scary looking nutritional facts label and ingredients list to give you a personalized advice according to the data you put, all thanks to Cohere and RAD. And we also provide you healthy alternatives so you're not left hanging. And we've noticed that the target market is usually people who either have certain diseases, allergies, or maybe they're vegan, and also people who are just looking to improve their health, focusing on maybe their goals towards fitness, losing weight, anything they want. And the timing of this is honestly perfect because with the rise of generative AI and chatbots in the rise, and also with the recent health boom, because everyone is currently focusing on their health, making more informed decisions, and there are plenty of options available. So we believe this is the perfect time to launch something like this. So we'll just jump right into the demo so you can see exactly what our app is. I'm going to take it over to Aisha right now. She's going to show the demo from her phone screen.
Hi, so can you please confirm if you can see my screen?
Still loading on my side. E- Yeah, we can see the Discord screen. Mhm.
All right. All right, so let me just refresh it. Okay, so if it's not visible very well, please zoom in because I am actually doing it on my phone because this is a mobile first app, so that it's convenient for users to just simply, take a snap on the go, and because most people would of course find it really inconvenient if you had to do that on a laptop or something like that. Okay, so let's sign up. I'll just put any person, I'll just randomly. Okay, so we have signed up successfully. Now let's go to the form. Also, I would just like to point out that this signing up has been, we're able to do this because of VV8's multi-tenancy feature. It allows us to, abstract one user's information from others. So all thanks to VV8's multi-tenancy feature. Okay, I'm just going to assume a personality over here. Let's say I'm going to say I'm a female, 21 years old. Just putting this data. Okay, for allergies, let's say we have an allergy to nuts. And now let's say we have diabetes. I mean, diabetes is one of the most widely spreading diseases nowadays. Even in young people, there are a lot of young people who are, having diabetes, along with, of course, older individuals. So let's set our goals as maintaining weight and improving overall health. For activity, we can say we are, let's say, moderately active. And for dietary preferences, let's say I don't have any of these dietary preferences, but I would like to have low calorie food suggestions. So I'm just going to enter that. And then we go on to the purpose of using app. I'm just going to say my health monitoring and medical condition management. Yes, that's it. Now we submit the form. Okay, our form has been submitted. It goes to the database. Okay, now I just like to point out, now this step is completely optional, this uploading medical document. Now, if you have any medical documents, like my friend Maniba just explained, sometimes when we see a medical document, we don't know how to even interpret it. Like, it's a bit difficult to do that for a normal person. So if you have any you would like to enter, you can just, I'm just going to choose this file. And let me just show you, it's a blood test report. There you go. It just shows blood sugar levels. So we've entered this, and as you can see, all of the information has been extracted, and it's all thanks to unstructured.io's API, which has chunked the data, and then through LangChain's recursive text extraction, we have converted these into vector embeddings, which have been stored in VV8 database. All right. Finally, let's move on to the chat screen, which is, of course, it's the main aspect of our app. Okay. Now, let's say that I'm in a grocery store and I just see these pack of chips, and I'm not sure if it's good for me. Like, I don't have time to read the label, or even if I do have time, it's really difficult to understand. So I'm just going to take a quick picture, trying to get everything in here. The light is really reflecting off. Okay. So I take a quick snap. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to use this photo and I'm going to ask, should I be eating these chips? So, okay. So while it's generating this response, let me just give you what's an idea of what's happening behind the scenes. So we used Cochet's Cochet endpoint and RAG connector mode to retrieve the data from internet as well as from VV8, where we store the user data, the form data, as well as the data from the files that were uploaded. And we employed hybrid search, giving more weightage to vector search than keyword search. Okay, now as you can see, all of the data has been extracted, all thanks to Google Vision API. And now, okay, so in the response, we can see it has pointed out all of the things that we entered in the form. It has pointed out that this food item is high in calories because we said that our goal was low calorie foods as well as maintaining weight. It has pointed out that this food is high in fat, it's high in sodium. It has pointed out it contains peanuts because we mentioned that peanuts, we had a nut, that I had a nut allergy. So it pointed this out. And it basically, it recommended me that I should not consume these chips because they're not good for my health goals. Okay, but it doesn't end here. You can see that now we have these product recommendations. It has also given us alternate product recommendations that are healthier alternatives for this product that we just scanned. And this thing has been done through Cochet's search query generator mode. So basically, the search query generator mode took in the user information as well as the nutrition label extraction, and it generated a search query which was sent to Google Search API, and it returned these links. So let's check out one of these links. Let's go here. Okay, so it's a very valid link. It's this Mr. Tortilla low carb keto soft shells. These are vegan, these are low carb, which means they are also diabetic friendly. So that's great. It means that the links are also valid and it has given so many other options that we can check out. Okay, so, and it's not necessary that you always scan something. Let's say you just want to suggest some breakfast foods for me. And this is just a general question, and it will also give response for this general question. So sorry that's taking a bit of while. Again, I would like to point out the usefulness of VV8's multi-tenancy feature because it really, it makes the experience personalized for each user. Each user has their own data and it's kept private from others. So it was probably the most challenging aspect, I have to admit, using this multi-tenancy feature because it was something new and quite unique, but it was also quite useful. Okay, we've gotten a response. It has given us healthy options, which are, of course, according to our data as well. And it has given us citations which are, so we know that it's taken from verifiable sources. And if I click one of these links, then we can see that it's working. All right, so I will now hand it over back to Muniba to continue with the presentation. Guess that's enough for the demo.
Running out of time with the presentation itself, and I believe
Alright.
the demo was covered fully. So I guess we can move on to the questions, and if there will be something that needs to be covered additionally, we can just answer this as a part of Q&A session. Philip, I see that you already unmuted. Do you want to ask first?
The first thing, awesome project. We did back in the days at KPMG, we built pharmacopipelines. So this was one of our a profession of my team. So I have strong, or at least, yeah, I really liked it. Doing something health related, also helping people leading better lives. So one of my questions, did I understand it right that you used multi-tenancy? So the VV8 multi-tenancy feature?
Yes, we did.
Ah,
You
this
separate
is
the
awesome.
yeah. We
Yeah,
separated
cool.
the
So
medical data, and so
yes.
that each user has their own separate space. So and because we were suggested by the we asked the mentors, and they were really helpful and pointed us towards this newer feature that I believe recently got released on VV8's new version. And so we immediately implemented it and thought it was perfect for our app.
Yeah, because most of the time it's more an enterprisey thing. So to have multi-tenancy and data isolation, it's cool that you use this in a hackathon to build this application. Yeah, also nutrition, it's a multifactorial topic, so it's not easy to cover, especially if it's around helping people having better nutrition, especially if it's around diseases and conditions, because sometimes I'm not going to elaborate because it would be explode the judging session here. But let's definitely, I would also follow up and want to invite you to have some deeper going talks around the application and stuff you did there. So
Thank you.
awesome
Thank you
project.
so much.
Any other questions?
I have a question. I also love the app. I love the name of the app. I love the concept of the app. I love how usable it is and how I can see myself using it as well. So there are so many things I love about it. I want to understand if you had 1 or 2 more days in the hackathon to improve it somehow, what would you do to make it even better?
We would definitely implement a sort of multilingual feature, because usually a lot of these nutritional facts labels are all in English, and living in Pakistan, not a lot of people know English over here, and so it would really open up doors for everyone else to be more to have healthier options and make that decision easily. And also we were thinking of incorporating a sort of community feature, so that people part of this community focusing on their health could all chat to each other and sort of have this joint community feeling.
I love it. Both are great ideas. Thank you so much for taking the time to build it. And I also want to catch up after this to invite you to talk a little bit about your project within Cohere community. I think it's really awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandra. With that, we are happy to move to the next team to discover the next project we have for today, which is Biology AI team, and the project is Cancer AI. Steven is already with us, so if you're ready, feel free to go.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you see my screen?
We do see the Discord screen here.
Okay. How about now?
Perfect.
Great. My name is Stephen Ness, and I'd like to talk about accelerating cancer research with REG. I'm on the DOI.bio team, and I'm the COI at DOI.bio, and we're trying to understand biology with computers. And I have a PhD in computer science. I did it in machine learning and UX with a co-op with Google Research, and I've worked in bioinformatics before. And we want to use AI to cure cancer with synthetic biology. And synthetic biology is a brand new field where we're combining engineering with biology. And we want to develop a system for bioinformaticians. So bioinformaticians are people who use Python and Perl on a daily basis to query very large databases. So we want to give them new tools in the language that they're familiar with. And so for that, we've written it in Python with ZSH, and we use Entree to access the vast archive of PubMed. And we're wondering, is this a new kind of bioinformatics? Synthetic biology, it combines engineering with biology, so it's really enabled whole new kinds of treatments, like whole new classes of treatments. And one example is tebentafusp, which is a breakthrough treatment. It's a first-in-class treatment. It's a whole new mechanism, and it targets cancer cells with an antibody that targets the cancer cell on one hand, and on the other hand, targets the killer T cell and brings them together and then kills the cancer cell. There's a huge interaction of AI and biology, and at DOI.bio we're doing a lot of other things around drug development, but this is where we're using LLMs for the first time. I'm not sure if you've heard of PubMed, but it's a vast biomedical literature database with millions of articles, has abstracts for those articles. It also has PubMed Central, which is full text articles. There's a huge relevance to AI that's a rich data source for machine learning. Each one of those papers is peer reviewed. And so there's many applications for AI. I did a market search using ChatGPT for cancer bioinformatics LLMs, and it was just a huge market, 15 billion going up to 34 billion. And the bioinformatics services, the largest share is a CAGR of 23.1. So the thing I built is very simple, but it's designed again for bioinformaticians. It's designed so that they can incorporate it in their own workflows. We use CoChat to find the latest FDA approvals for cancer treatment. We're hoping to find brand new treatments that are a whole revolution in treatment. And we found one which is tebentafusp. We'll talk about that. And then for each entry, use the eDirect CLI tool to download the abstracts. And then we use CoChat on those documents to evaluate that particular treatment for how well it works, and also if there's any side effects. Then we do CoChat for web search. So here's a demo. So we used CoChat with web search, and we just wanted to, I just go over this very quickly. You don't have to really read the things on the slide. What are some of the most recently approved treatments? And there's a brand new treatment called tebentafusp that's not only a new therapy, but new hope for individuals and families. Then we use Entree to search eDirect, so we get these articles directly, and this returns 67 abstracts. Then for the demo, we used a Python script to read all those documents from Entree and uploaded the documents to CoChat. And here's an example of what we got out of that. We said, please evaluate this new treatment tebentafusp for efficacy. And we saw that could change the standard of care for treating this kind of cancer. And then we did a business summary of this company as well. And we used just web search with that. So the company that we found was Immunocore, and Immunocore is producing this, and it's a very interesting company. So there's many potential revenue streams for these AI platforms for drug discovery and development, for data management and analysis, for patient data management. So there's many different potential revenue streams. There's lots of key competitors in this region, including BenchSci, which is from Canada, and they specialize in AI-driven literature search, and also Google Health is in this. But because this field in RAG is so new, we feel that there's definitely things we could do. So there's many different kinds of things that you could use these LLM models for cancer research, including literature review, identifying connection, actually looking through news and updating alerts and doing data synthesis and hypothesis generation. So that's all for the slides, and if I have time, I can give a little demo of what things look like. So like if we just go e-search, this is something that'll just we can just look for that tebentafusp, and we can see that it produces 64 queries, and then we can also actually just get all the abstracts for those directly from Entree. And then if we did a search for something like cancer, you can just see the vast amount of information there is out there. So about 5 million articles around cancer, and you can break that down in terms of year as well. So we could look for things that are just this year, so still 235,000 just this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the presentation. The project looks really serious and complex in this point, and I'm wondering what judges will say about that. Do we have any questions or just comments on the project itself? Sandra, Patrick, yeah.
Yeah, sure, I can go first. Yeah, it's super interesting application. I used to work in bioinformatics a bit myself, so it's fun to see it. Yeah, someone working on that and applying LLMs. Back when I was working on this, the models are always too weak to be extracting too much value. But yeah, super interesting to see. I guess a kind of philosophical question is where do you see the use of this kind of technology? Is this for a kind of research tool for humans to use, or is this more of a hypothesis generator itself? And like, what's your kind of view on like how we can extract the benefits of LLMs applied to medical knowledge without maybe whilst like avoiding the pitfalls of like hallucination causing issues?
Yeah, I'll just answer the very last thing first of all. And with the RAG, it just helps so much. Just giving it the articles just transforms it from just like something that's having some problems to something with hallucinating to something that just is giving you exactly what you need and the references as well. So the RAG really helps. I see this a lot in this project as a tool for actual humans, so like actual bioinformaticians who are like they're searching genes, but then they could also find the papers that those genes were published in and then maybe find insights from those papers. So that's a huge aspect, and that's what we're focusing on in this project, to really just like give them a raw Python API that they could just play with. But in a new project I'm working on, Lab AI, we want to actually use robots and actually use the computers to make hypotheses and then use lab robots to actually run the experiments. I just sat in on a course at MIT this spring, the how to grow almost anything, and the things that they can do with synthetic biology, and just like having these robots that'll just automatically do your experiments is like Ginkgo Bioworks is pretty amazing. So yeah, all of them.
Wow, amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a small question regarding the viability of the drug. Let's say based upon the hypothesis testing you mentioned, that it predicts a result. So, is there any drawbacks or like side effects of the drug that it can show along with those testing results?
Yeah, exactly. And that's a really important part. I think that the efficacy is an important part, but then I really looked at the side effects as well as like equally important. And this particular treatment is really great for lack of side effects. It basically just gives you the cytokine release syndrome, which is like you get like a fever and maybe a rash as well. It's like you're getting an antibody injected into you. So we have quite a bit of knowledge of that. So it's a really revolutionary new treatment.
It's a biological, right? It sounds like from the name.
Exactly. It's an antibody.
So yeah, it's an antibody, so it's a classical reaction to this. And one of the problems if you're building these, or at least not a problem, but one of the challenges that are you using ECD codes to identify the diseases or the conditions? Because often we have this umbrella term of cancer, but cancer it's an umbrella term. So there are several diseases related to it. And this is one of the challenges also if you're ingesting patient notes, so people talking about the symptoms, the adverse drugs effect they're having, that this is, yeah, sometimes language is not specific enough, so it's hard to map these.
Yep, totally. I even really considered even like saying like the cancer AI, because yeah, cancer is so many vast diseases and they all have very different ways that they happen. This approach is really nice because it'll find the similarities between the cancers. So it'll find like something that's like that uveal melanoma, that's like an eye cancer, and it'll find things that aren't in the eye, but things that have similar antigens on their surface that you could target. So you can like search for like it's a GP100 protein it's a glycoprotein that's on these kind of uveal melanomal cells. But then you can look to see if there's other similar antigens on other cancer cells, and then you maybe have like a treatment for like a whole new cancer. But yeah, there's just so many kinds of cancers. It's like a vast umbrella term.
Now, the fascinating thing around these large language models and or with these data that you're ingesting all these patient notes and maybe these drug reviews and these PubMed articles, and then there's an abstraction underlying in the language, so that you have this link between specific gene protein sequences and which pharmacotherapy could link to these, because it's some kind of an abstraction. It's some years ago, at these times with a graph database, but this was also, it was ingesting Wikipedia data, and out of these Wikipedia data, it was already possible to have some drug mechanisms, gene sequence linking, because it's just there And the linking and backlinking from Wikipedia was enough to have some generating some insights. But this is already 5 years ago. So now with these large language models, ingesting these and mapping these abstractions, a pretty cool project. I mean, I would not expecting having such a time or such a crazy good, or also from how to say this. But in the end, having this at the Hackathon, it's crazy. So let's make something out of it.
Totally. This is like how we actually got into the LLM field. We were following the research that was happening at Facebook and Salesforce. They were looking to do large language models of the actual sequence of the proteins, and they were able to find some really crazy things just by using an LLM on the protein sequence. So yeah, it's like really cool.
With that, we have to end the Q&A session for biology AI team. And let me move on to the last team for today before we'll go to the discussion room and define the winners of this hackathon. So the last team for today will be Through Think with RAG Fusion with Cohere and VV8 project. So feel free to share your screen and start the presentation. We have Saba here with us.
Hi, good morning. Just a second, sharing my screen.
Perfect, we can see this.
Awesome. So, oops, that's not from the beginning. Oops. So my main goal is I am in general searching for the holy grail of a super chat agent for one of my startups. And RAG is super helpful. Although I'm searching for a good balance between being able to have it grounded to my ThruThink help documentation and knowledge base, but I also wanted to be able to answer generic questions for this domain. ThruThink is a financial application, so like, I don't know, how much inventory should I have? We don't have that in our help documentation, but I still want the chat to leverage the large language model's intelligence to come up with something useful for that. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, we can.
So here I depicted a traditional RAG architecture, although I'm adding a little extra there because I generated with an open source project and also LangChain Q&A from the help documentation, which I use to fine-tune a Cohere chat model. But I also use that to supplement the help documentation, which I ingest the help documentation, and then I also ingest the Q&A data. So that's one thing to bootstrap my solution. But the main thing I experimented with right now is called RAG Fusion. And with RAG Fusion, the idea is that sometimes the user don't necessarily know what's the best question to answer. Sometimes they don't even know what they want to, what's the proper question, or they know, but it might not fit properly close to any of those chunks I was chunking earlier. And so the main idea is let's generate, instead of one of the original question, generate n variations of that question, perform the document retrieval for all of those variations. And then after that retrieval, we have an n set of documents instead of one set of documents. and performed a re-ranking and fusing algorithm on those documents. The last step, when we performed the reg, I would say actually, I used both the document mode of CoChat and both the web connector mode. We will see it soon. And so I use LangChain, Viviate, and Cohere. All of them. The UI is Streamlit. It's not as fancy. Streamlit had this was the first time I was dealing with it, and I, in the end, gonna probably integrate this into the Fruithink software actually, unless I'm using something like the Orb project we saw earlier. But so I'm just throwing this ahead that the UI portion of it right now is not as fancy. And yeah, I think I mentioned already this. And I even decided to use Cohere re-rank because why not boost even more? Let's use everything what I can to enhance the results. Although one thing I haven't done yet is to do proper measurements, so that's for one of the future tasks. And there was also prompt engineering going on under the hood heavily, and I started to use re-rank. So I have a lot of issues in the GitHub project tracker. Some of which I started to tackle already. And right, so I think I will jump onto the actual demo. So let's see here. This is the Streamlit UI, not as fancy as certain UIs. And here I placed some example queries. For example, how much inventory should I have? Now here it generates variations, and then actually the vector query and even the Cohere re-rank is super fast. So it already went through those steps. The two queries which I now executing parallelly, the document-based and the web connector, has a little latency, and we will see that I present both of them side by side in a tab, and let's pray for the demo gods. It should already finish. I also placed the parameters here on the sidebar so we can play with the various hyper parameters. And yeah, here we go. So I have right now a separate tab, the document based. This is from a help documentations about the inventory, and I am referencing this. So on the left side you see the chat, and on the right side the references. And I switched to the web-based. The web-based found other references. Actually, seems like 5 references. So let's ask now, and the same. So the chat flow is the same for both. So I'm asking one question, and it uses the two. So let's see in Fruithink are the calculation projections or exact figures. So let's see what it comes up with. And we went through again quickly the variation generation and the queries. I was going through several major prompt versions for the variation generation. The variation, because I want different perspectives, so I don't necessarily just simply want not to diverse variations of the same question because they would match to the same vector. And I can show that in IPython notebooks. All right, so here what we had from the web search, it picked up some context because I am augmenting even the web search just to help it. It found one reference from the web. And if I switch back to the document grounded search, it found almost similar references. We can see, I have this indexing schedule, indexing scheme like 2.1, 2.2, based on the number of questions. So these details can be make it much more fancier. I was focusing on the under the hood portion of Reg Fusion, what's going on there. And
I'm sorry for interrupting you. Know that you have less than 1 minute to finish the presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, I think, yeah, let's see. Let's make it spin more. So I asked, let's see, cash flow control. This question is, can the user make adjustment on the cash flow control page? Is a truthing specific question. The what is, which I'm asking now as the third question, what is truthing would be more of a generic question, and it's not covered by our help in this form. So the whole underlying architecture has to pick up the pieces to put some nice answer together for that. But it is able to do that actually from both versions. One thing I realized, I can't remember if it was in my demo, is, which I haven't ever seen in articles analyzing or talking about Reg Fusion, is you have to pay attention to resolve context references in a conversation, because these are standalone questions right here. And so I think that will be one of the most important issues I should resolve soon, is that what if my question contains references, for example, how much inventory should I have? And then I follow up like, what if I have, I don't know, $3 million monthly cash flow and etc. And then the conversation knows that I was referring back to the earlier conversation pieces. Right now, because the query generator, the variation generator, it just takes the question. First, I need to resolve that question to a standalone question, so it would be able to generate the proper variation. I think that's an important piece I will fix. So we can see here the cash flow control on the document guided results came up with 4 references from our either from our question and answer or help, and the web search could, oh, in this case, that's interesting, the web search wasn't able to tackle this. So here I'm still experimenting. Maybe in the future how I'm gonna fuse this together, but maybe I let the user decide.
Sema, I have to interrupt you since the time is over. And if there is some extra questions regarding things you wanted to show, that we can just show this in the presentation. Then Philip, Patrick, Sandra, do you have anything to ask now?
I'll ask something really quickly. Can you tell me a little bit about the query variation prompt? How did you go about producing the prompt that paraphrases the generated queries?
Right. So first, maybe, so I can show you what I have right now. first I went about a Medium article, an article on the data science section of Medium, where I first heard about Reg Fusion. And sorry, let's move there. So I extracted the whole Reg Fusion section in this file. So here's the current, I don't know how much you can see. Should I, just a second, how do I increase the font size? Here. But your task is to generate X count of different search queries that aim to answer the user question from multiple perspectives. This is already an improved one, where I read some articles which were talking about not having enough variation in the questions. And so this prompt emphasizes perspectives. Also, once again, each query must tackle the question from different viewpoint. And so that tries to guide the LLM to have viewpoints. So for example, if I go into my notebooks, and I can actually easily Reg Fusion experiments. So I can show probably even variations of what comes out. So here, with this newest prompt, how much inventory should I have? It asks things like, is there a direct relationship between inventory and cash flow balance, EBITDA, inventory management? These are good questions. And really variations, earlier variations I can show here. This is already viewpoint. This one is an earlier one, and here's what it produced. How much inventory should I have? How does inventory management software help with inventory management? I mean, that's also a little further away, but I thought that mentioning the perspective and viewpoint is important to be able to guide it better. I was also dealing with problems about grounding it to number it well and don't answer anything else, because sometimes it started to answer these questions, adding explanations and stuff like that. So it required a prompt engineering for sure. I don't know how much it answers your question.
Yeah, no, that's great. Really interesting. Thanks. Yeah, it is often difficult to get that variation. So it's nice that we're in a place where you can just ask the model for a bit of variation and you get some. Thanks.
Oh yeah, for sure. In the early days, early models might not be as responsive for this.
I have one question. Did you heard about self-querying retrieve? So that you're also handing it over to,
Say it again. What query retrieve?
Self-querying retrieve. So you're handing over the input, and then the model is generating depending on what the backend is. So it could be GraphQL, it could be SQL, and then adding filter settings to the query over the database. Because there could be a solution if you want to hand in the dialogue you had and then retrieve the right information out of these. That could be also helping improving the results.
See if I haven't heard this phrase. My source documents are right now in Markdown format, so they are help articles, what I was chunking. So they are not when you were so it's not like SQL or anything like that. I should know this.
It's more you're storing this information in a vector database, and then you can also work with filters in the query to get specific information out of the database.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Working with Weaviate, I saw filters when you are filtering for metadata, for example.
Yeah.
And actually, when I was chunking, with the chunking, I added, so I have the title of the help and the category. And when I'm making the retrieval, I believe I am utilizing the category and title as well, but I am not doing explicitly filtering right now. I think, yeah, I'm trying to think that I have 185 articles. If this is big enough or applicable, I'm curious with any technique which can improve the results. So I will read about that, and maybe I will follow up with you about that.
Would be awesome. So let's definitely do this.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the questions and answers that you provided, and also for all the teams that were participating in today's stream. And now I am happy to announce the break for judges. Judges literally will have 10 minutes to decide on the winner of this hackathon. For all the teams that are waiting for results, I'm asking to stay in this channel, and we'll get back to you literally in 10 minutes to make a final announcement. For now, we'll see you later, and we'll be back soon for those that are watching the stream now. We're happy to be back, and we are ready with the results of the hackathon. And happy to have also all the teams now with us that are waiting to know who is the winner of the hackathon. I was listening judges' feedbacks, and it was really exciting to hear what all of them actually thinks about your project, and most of the thoughts you also heard during the Q&A session as well. But we'll be happy to have a bit of comments on the solutions that were chosen for today. Let me just recap on the few things we had during this hackathon, and let me start from the challenge. So as a challenge, we had Cohere as the main technology of the hackathon, and our idea was to build any application you can come up with using Cohere's functions. And there was 2 tracks to guide you through this hackathon and help you to define your use case, which was use of RAG with documents and query generation models. And the second track was best use of RAG with connector mode. So this track was a guide for you to choose your project idea, and we are happy to have a great results out of this. As a judging criteria, we used 4 main criteria, which application of technology, presentation, business value, and originality of your project. Today, during the stream, judges might use their own criteria, like usage of their own model, or maybe the way you present your solution, or the also potential of your business plan and business idea. And over this final stream, we got 5 finalists that you see now on the presentation screen, which is OrbitChat, Tadabor, Byte, Cancer AI, and RAG Fusion with Cohere and VV8. And now that is an exciting moment to announce the winners of the hackathon. Before we'll move on to the winner announcement itself, I want to make a small announcement regarding the mini challenge for Cohere hackathon that all of you are asking in the chats. So guys, the winner announcement is supposed to be today, but we might need a few more days to define the winner of this challenge. And the winner will be addressed to you through Discord and emails. So just stay tuned, and in a few days you will get their results, and winners will be contacted for the prizes. Okay, and I'm happy to move on to the 3rd place of this challenge. So the 3rd place winner will get $500 in cash prize, $2,000 in Cohere credits, and 200 VV8 Cloud credits, and of course VV8 swag. And we are happy to announce that the 3rd place winner is OrbitChat. So congrats to Matthew and his team. Happy to have you as a winner. And Philip, Sandra, do you have some comments on the project straight away?
Of course, I can start. First of all, thank you so much for actually to all of you guys, because you've been incredible. All the use cases were really interesting and very different from one another. When it comes to OrbitChat, I think I love the stuff that you've done in terms of UI. It looked very polished. It used the inline citations well. It used the preambles from CodeChat and RAG. We loved it. I think it's very, very well executed. And I think it's a very, very strong use case for RAG in general. So thank you so much for diving there and making a really great work off of it.
Philip?
Yeah, so from my side, awesome project. In the end, this is a full-fledged startup you built there. So I'm happy to support you with our Build with VV8 program, which is also a program for startups where we make sure that you get the needed resources to make these maybe later on a full-fledged product. So I would loop in afterwards and then let's discuss opportunities, because we are also using our reach we are having as VV8 to make sure that people are aware that this awesome project is there and that they can use it, or maybe it's interesting for them, which also then helps getting your first customers on board.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity, and it's been really cool.
Thank you. Moving on to the 2nd place at this hackathon, and together with 2nd place, the winner will get $1,000 in USD, then 3,000 Cohere credits and 500 VV8 Cloud credits together with swag. And this project is Cancer AI. congratulations to you, and really happy to have this complex project at the hackathon. And I'm happy to pass the word to Cassandra and Philip.
Okay, I'm gonna go first again. So congrats to you and kudos to you for diving into this extremely important territory with RAG. I think it's very interesting to see that you decided to focus on a tool rather than kind of an end product with a UI and all that. I think this project has a great potential, and also in terms of the impact on the body of knowledge and how we interact with it, it really has potential to have transformative results. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much, and please handle with care moving forward.
Yeah, also from my side, I mean, my heart belongs to these kind of projects because you're adding really value to helping people living better lives, or helping treating the diseases or the suffering they're having. And I would also love to make this part of the Build with VV8 program, because it's not just about that we are giving you resources or VV8 cloud resources. We are also helping you innovating, helping you advancing the project itself. And the good thing is that one of the things I'm doing, I always put parts of my team with me. And we have a lot of experience building these kind of projects. So we are happy to help, then maybe giving also some expertise we are having in our team to innovate these and make these a full-fledged product which is helping people leading better lives.
Wow, just like team resources would be like the best prize of all. So thank you so much. Wonderful, definitely. And thank you. Yeah, I will take care, and thank you for the kind words. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Steven. It's great to have you in the community as well. I'm happy to move to the first place, and it's always a very exciting moment to see when we have especially finalists, and we really don't know who is the winner in this point. So I'm happy to announce that first place together was 3D printer, and it was 2,000 USD in cash prize. And also credits prizes in $5,000 for 5,000 credits from Cohere and 1,000 from VV8, together with VV8 swag, will go to Byte team. So congrats was winning. I said that you're really surprised, and that was amazing project and a great presentation, and all of judges agree that it's a first place winner for today. And yeah, the job you did in this short period of time was really amazing. Sandra, Philip, now it's time to you for your comments.
See, congrats. It was a really tough choice between the projects. The level was high, so you can feel really, really proud of yourselves for taking the very first place. I think overall I think it was the most relatable solution that we have seen today, and the one that each and every one of us could have chosen to install on our smartphone. You have a great intuition when it comes to making LLMs usable for a broader number of folks. And I love the execution. I love the functionalities you were thinking about. And I love the future plans of making it multilingual and giving it to the community to kind of share the resources between one another. I sincerely hope this will turn into a project that you will continue to work on, and that I will install it at some stage on my phone and I can start to use it. So yay, thank you so much for doing this, and yeah, congrats again.
Yeah, also from my side, the same thing I thought about the two other projects is also valid here, so happy to help. And then I still cannot believe that I'm judging here a hackathon, because for me it feels like these are full-fledged startups and great projects you have built, which we make sure that the world is aware that they're existing and helping getting the attention you deserve for these awesome projects.
Together with all the comments, LabLab is happy to invite you to the acceleration program after this hackathon as well, so you can continue building your solution right after the hackathon and already work on your MVP to be able to launch in the market. So congrats to the team.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much.
And we're so excited. We are definitely going to be applying towards Slingshot. So stay tuned, and hopefully this does deploy as an app that you all can download.
Yeah, it was the best opportunity. It was the best time doing this. It was really, really nice.
Thank you so much for your warm words. And together with that, I also want to thank Cohere, being our amazing partner for this hackathon, providing the access and support over the hackathon together with VV8, not only helping us, but also providing support to people that completed solutions with VV8, and really excited to see that you're supporting projects afterwards and helping them to be developed in some great project and startups in the future. Thank you so much, guys, for the participation in today's stream and in the hackathon overall. Look forward to see you on other hackathons with Cohere and VV8, and also we'll see you via emails and on Discord, announcing you the winners of micro mini challenge that we had with Cohere over this hackathon. And see you later. Thank you so much. Thank you for participation, guys.